So when we were shopping for cars for roadworthy rescues, I said, we got to do a 60 El Camino again. And we found this one way down in Texas. And I was telling the team on roadworthy rescues, keep in mind I have no team here, it's just me, but on the TV show, you have a camera guy and a producer and a helper running around and stuff like that. But I was talking to the team, let's go somewhere warm this winter. Let's not like go to the UP again and suffer. And they said, we found one in Texas, Derek. And I'm like, yes, let's go to Texas. We get there, it's snowing. So I put this truck together during a Texas blizzard. We had space heaters running everywhere. The crew is from California primarily. They were dying, freezing. I'm kind of chuckling, because I'm used to it, but that was the first thing. But the big story kind of comes to the back of the truck here. We started discovering certain things about this. The back window had been shot out, obviously. There was bullet holes all over it, okay? Back here in the rear, there's bullet holes, okay? There's only bullet holes.
Landfill Sweetwater. Whether it's the vintage JPM 45, regular housing conditions, or the inline position of the JPM 410, Marshall is the unmistakable sound of quality that's easily shop at Sweetwater.com. Style and substance in the GMC Sierra. Get 0.9% solid sterling in 30 years. That's over $4,300 in average finance savings.
From behind the vehicle. Nowhere else. It's not like it sat in the field, it got shot up like some old cars do in the Midwest and things like that. Well, I'm sure anywhere, but only as if someone was shooting from behind towards the El Copano. Now, I was digging back here in the bed, which has been replaced by a beautiful bed by Lucky and Alex, thank you. Come over here and look at this. So when I was trying to get this truck running, I'm looking for the fuel tank. I'm looking behind the seat, I'm looking under the truck, saddle tank, maybe it had a fuel cell. I couldn't find the fuel tank in this thing. It was baffling. There was an old plywood bed in here. I think maybe some of the remnants remain. I'm not sure. But it was a solid piece of wood. I started literally digging with the scoop shovel I found in this lady's garage. And I found a hidden fuel tank, auxiliary tank, beneath the bed. The only way to make this work is you would put it was a sealed tank. You'd put it in, you would fill it, seal the tank, put the wood bed in, fasten all of that in, and then there was a ball valve next to the driver's seat where you could flip from the stock fuel tank to the auxiliary fuel tank. That was kind of weird. We didn't really know what was going on. Then we found something else. Guy climbed in the rig down in Texas, and I'll be dipped if the seat didn't just slide all over the place. But it was flat. All of the hardware, the slider mechanisms, everything was gone. And what it did was create two perfect storage cavities under each side of the seat. So if you slid the seat all the way forward, which wasn't bolted in, there were two large troughs, essentially, under the seat where you could store things. Over a margarita and some tacos, we decided this thing had to have been running some sort of contraband, like fishing lures or neckties from the 90s, maybe an Alan Jackson shirt that was signed. No, you know what I'm talking about. So we just decided to call it the El Copano, but the Discovery Channel didn't really like that, so we didn't call it that. But now we can. So that's kind of the history behind this. I had like 5 bad starters out of the box for this thing. We fought fuel pumps bad out of the box. We had brake issues. There was a ton of issues, but it ended going to Cadillac Ranch. We had a bunch of laughs in between. We went and had a huge steak there at the Winter Free Steak Place, whatever that was. I didn't finish it. Couldn't do it. But anyway, that's some of the history on this truck and why it's special to me and why it's here. Now, obviously, things have been bolted on. There's a quick performance rear in this. There's a blower sticking through the hood. Let's walk around this, see what's been done, see if we can figure out some issues or concerns. Well, draw lines or concerns, main issues. Let's make a list, and we've got to dig in. So I got a good deal on this truck. Basically, I paid for the truck and the parts I put in it, and I got a free BDS blower and a quick performance rear. So, you know, that's pretty awesome. I've never had a blower this big. I don't even know what I'm looking at, but we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? So, the exterior here, it used to be a teal or turquoise color at one point. Then it was painted gray. I think that's primer underneath of that. This is actually the Vice Grip Garage wipe on clear coat, and I wiped this on in a snowstorm, which you're not supposed to do. And then it went sat out in California under the sun for however long.